All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we've got a lot to talk about because the CS market has taken an entire U-turn over the past 24 hours. As you can see, minus 30% in some skins, 35% in the Karambit Phase 2. So things are looking pretty horrific right now, but you shouldn't be too sad because things are still up immensely in the past 30 days. Well, most things are at least. And this is one of the things that I talked about in my previous videos. The market can come. I literally said, I don't know if I'm going to upload this video on the same channel, but I said it in one of my channels literally yesterday. I said the market can drop 30% and skins would still be up in the past 30 days. For example, the M4 Hot Rod, it actually is not up in the past week anymore. It dropped 45% today. But pretty much what I was saying is yesterday, this thing was still up 50% in the past week. And I said this thing could still drop 30% and still be up immensely over the past week. Now it's dropped 45%. Now it's not up in the past week. It could still drop another like 30% and still be up over the past month. You guys need to understand, if you're not familiar with markets, that this much price increase over this much of a short period of time is obviously going to result in significant pullbacks like this, and some people just refuse to accept that. I was telling you guys weeks ago, 2 weeks ago at this point, that you would be much safer off selling off skins. I sold my Karambit Phase 4 for $3,600 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember. $3,600 either way, now it's $3,000, and I was like, let me just show you guys a chart. This is a Phase 2 Karambit Gamma Doppler, for example, but I'll check out some others. If you see something go sideways for this long, and throughout this entire period of time you decide not to buy it, and then suddenly, when it quadruples in price over 4 months' time, you're like, oh, the market's great, it's going to keep going up, I should buy now. You are not very smart. And you might be looking at this after the fact and saying, how could anybody think that? Well, let me actually show you guys. I uploaded a video on another one of my channels, and this is what some people had to say. I uploaded this video yesterday saying the CS market was crashing, and I did not say to buy at all. I said to sell. I said even with the prices, and they were down like 10% yesterday, you should be selling because you're still at the top. And this guy replied, up 130% in the past 7 days, down 5% today, must be a crash. Once again, I said this yesterday. You can see by the comment time 8 hours ago. And wow, skins are down 40% today. So maybe I was actually not lying to you guys. And I don't know why you would try to like ego me on something like this, because once again, it's all in the charts. If you see a complete 4x in price over 4 months, and you can't even begin to imagine the concept of selling, I don't know what you think prices are going to get to if you're not selling here. And if you're up 100%, what was that noise? You guys couldn't hear it, but if you're up 100% over the past 7 days or whatever, and something starts coming down and cases start dropping down in price on the Steam market, as I'll check as well, and you don't even consider the concept of a crash, you might not be very smart. And I hate to say it, get called a clickbaiter. Okay, sure. Once again, things are down 45% today. This is not a crash. 12 hours ago, everything's down 45% today. 30%, 30%, 25%, 11%, 30%, 41%. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm not trying to screw you guys over. I'm trying to make you guys money.
This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey. If you've been looking to trade out your old boring skins for new ones, Skins Monkey is the place. By clicking the link in the description, you'll get a 35% deposit bonus when depositing with cash and crypto, and up to a free $5 bonus on your first trade. So be sure to click that link. Skins Monkey also has the freebies tab where they run 24/7 giveaways that are completely free to join with crazy skins. And if you're looking to actually get your hands on some good skins, Skins Monkey is the quickest way to do it. So be sure to get that free $5 and 35% deposit bonus now, trading your CSGO skins with that link at the top of the description.
Even 2 weeks ago here, when the Karambit Doppler, I remember it specifically Phase 2, and all the other Phase 2s hit these ridiculous prices in probably like here. Probably like 5,300. I was like, we're at a level where you should sell. And if this thing drops all the way back down to like 3,200 or something, which is very possible because, I mean, that's still a ridiculous price and a very expensive price for them to be, I would not be shocked. Phase 2s are not, they're the same rarity as all the other phases at the end of the day. So there is a relatively decent amount of supply out there. When it comes to sapphires and rubies and stuff like that, then you could have the conversation of like, okay, they're more rare. It's harder for them to move in price. But obviously, we've seen a market-wide pullback here. And Certain things did surprise me. Like, I didn't think the Dragon Lord was going to be down 10% in a day, but obviously it's not down 40% in a day. As I said, high tier skins don't typically move around as much in price. Even though this is a shocking figure, I'm not going to pretend like it's not. It's not 40%, and I don't think it will drop that significantly. I did say if you want to put your money in stuff, sell the stuff that's gone up, like the hot rod, like massive amounts. It was up 3 figures. Over the past 60 days, well north of that. Sell your phase 2s and move them into high tier skins. I showed you guys that as well. Let me show you guys again in case you haven't seen my previous videos. I tried to move my Dopplers. Come on, Steam, load for me. I tried to move my Dopplers into a howl a few days ago. And then Zippo didn't accept the trade in like 24 hours, so I'm like, okay, screw it. So I just ended up selling one of the Dopplers, and I'm just going to hold this for like years. So once again, I don't really care, but I took my profits. And also before that, let me show you guys where'd it go. Oh, it's right here. It's right in front of me. I also sold another 4 grand of skins. So I'm practicing what I preach here. I sold like 7 grand at least, and I sold at the top. So I told you guys what to do. Hopefully you took some advice. Once again, things are still up immensely over the past 30 days. If you want to be safe and secure some profit and you've owned skins for well over a year, you're probably up a lot more money than that. So I'm just saying, if you want to be safe, you should take some profit. But there's a whole nother conversation we could have here about what price levels you should begin to buy at. And for me, that conversation is back where we were. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate conversation to have. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, the Karambit Phase 2 is going to come back down to $2,300. I don't know if it's going to go all the way back down to those levels. I think you could start entertaining buys at like 2,800, 2,600 would be great levels. Me personally, those are the levels I would consider buying at. If this thing reached like 2,100 in this long area where it consolidated for a very long time, that is your ideal entry on the Karambit Phase 2. Of course, this is Cantry.dev. I use this site in any video. You could punch any skin you want. And the conclusion you should come to, let me show you guys another skin. I'll look at my Phase 3 that I just sold, for example, what price I would be comfortable buying this thing at. Let me close out of the Phase 2. It doesn't want to work for me, actually. Okay, so it went to 4K at peak, 3,100 right now. I'd probably buy it at like... I don't even think I'd touch the 2 grand, like 1,800 maybe. Because once again, the player count is still really high. So there is a lot of demand for skins right now. There was a big CS update recently as well. There's a lot of stuff in the game files hinting at an operation. There's weekly missions that just got added to the game as well. So all these things are just going to be retaining players in the future with the ridiculously high player count. I think that's great. I think that's going to keep high prices in the long term, but I do think we're going to see a significant pullback. And very possibly more than the 40% we saw in some skins today. For me, the only levels I'd be looking to buy at are when things get down to their previous levels before the hype started, and then they start going sideways for a bit. Of course, with the elevated player count and just recently off a hype spike, I think we're going to see a lot of volatility in the market in the very short term. We could see another massive sell-off day. We could see bleeding out for a long time once again as more people decide to take profits. But the levels I would buy at are the levels before the hype started, before things went completely parabolic. That is what I would do. That is how I would be safe. If you're looking to buy skins and you want to be safe and you want to be smart, you should do it at those levels. And cases are pretty much a prime example of this. Something we could very easily see, once again, just going back here, if you can't imagine in your mind the Karambit Phase 2 coming back all the way down to 3,000 levels, which wouldn't be shocking at all. It could very easily happen. Just keep that in mind. Cases, for example, the glove case went from $12 to $30. I guess it really went to like 25. This was a top, obviously, but only like 200 sold, so I'd consider this more the actual top. And it's already down $8, and it's probably going to come back down to these $13 levels because we have seen something like this before. Once again, with the breakout case, which I feel like I whip out every single video, but I will show you guys. Once again, when we saw some hype with this thing, I don't remember when it was. If it was with the initial CS2 hype, where is it? Can I get a good example of this? I guess this is a decent example. Went from 72 cents to $3.30 and then dropped like 40% in price. So Once again, it doesn't have to come all the way back down to levels where it previously was. Of course, with cases especially, there's just way less of them in supply out there right now. A bunch of them are being unboxed as well. But with skins, I think they could very easily come back down to those levels, especially considering the fact that the price action happens so fast. If we get a slow uptrend like this, I think it'd be fine. But considering most of the action happened in literally the past month, anybody that's bought in the past month is still up a ridiculous amount of money, and that's the main thing you got to consider. With the 7-day trade hold, every single day you're going to be seeing more people with skins that are in profit and completely comfortable selling them for the massive amount of profit they still made. So keep that in mind. I would not buy skins here at all. You guys could dislike the video all you want. You could comment calling me a clickbait or whatever you want. I would not buy skins. I would wait until we get back down to those levels. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you took profit. And check out the sponsor with that link at the top of the description where you can quick sell your skins. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.